On Sunday, November 30th, Venus enters Sagittarius, and until December 24th urges you to have philosophical debates, go on adventures, and open your heart to fun and playful relationships. Let's talk about it in depth and discuss what it might mean for you. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Stick around. If you've been here a while and you enjoy my work, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe. Press the notification bell, hype my video. This is a new and helpful option that helps promote my content in front of a larger audience. You can also say thank you by buying me a tea, a coffee, a croissant, or some other present or gift that your heart desires. Before we dive in, if you're seeking personal advice, you'd like to know what the year ahead has in store for you, we are on the precipice of 2026. I am doing a promo on my year ahead readings. You can save $20 on the in-person one with the coupon code 2026, or you can save $40 on the recorded reading in the shop section of my website. Check out my website for that. There are different kinds of readings: natal, relationship, astrocartography, electional astrology. I am also teaching. My next course begins in March, and all of that can be found on my website. The next class is going to be all about predictive astrology and using astrology to forecast your future. Additionally, I recommend my 2026 planner. It has 227 pages filled with insights about astrology. Every month has its own breakdown. There are calendars, spaces to set your intentions, write your to-do lists. Every new and full moon has its own page, helping guide you, helping you make solid choices and maximize the positive opportunities. Additionally, since we are talking about Venus in Sagittarius, I'd love to highlight one of my lovely Venus candles. This is Venus in Libra 3. I actually have Venus in Libra 4 going right there behind me. Venus is the planet of love and beauty, and she is in her domicile, meaning especially empowered in Libra. So this is perfect for creating love, stability, abundance in your life, attracting your desires, inspiring your creativity, and boosting your charm. Especially recommend this for anyone born with Venus in Virgo, Aries, or Scorpio, the signs Venus struggles in. If your Venus is retrograde or if she's placed in a more difficult house, 2nd, 6th, 8th, or 12th. Less so 2nd, definitely 6th, 8th, or 12th. And if Venus aspects Saturn, Uranus, or Pluto. So today we're talking about Venus in Sagittarius. This begins on November 30th, lasts until December 24th, so a little bit over 3 weeks. Venus is the goddess, the planet of love and connection. She's the most beautiful in the night sky, the brilliant and the most attractive, right? The most visible. And so in astrology, she represents beauty and attraction. She represents accord and peace, helping us get along with people. She describes what we desire and how we potentially go after our desires. And Venus moves in the sky, right? She's not staying in one spot. You may have been born with Venus in Sagittarius. In that case, happy Venus return. But if you were born with a different Venus sign, every year Venus pretty much transits through all 12 zodiac signs. It varies if she retrogrades, but for the most part, she does cover all 12 zodiac signs within a year. And when she travels through those zodiac signs that are not her own, and she rules Libra and Taurus, and that's why I always capture Venus in Libra and Taurus, because those are the moments you want to catch her in, right? That's the most unusual, the most happy Venus that is useful to have next to you. When she travels through other zodiac signs, she is a guest in that zodiac sign. She has to learn the rules of that sign. She has to behave as a guest would, right? There will be certain limitations. There will be certain opportunities in the sign. So when Venus is in Sagittarius, she's in the house of Jupiter. And Jupiter is the planet of growth and optimism and expansion and abundance. So naturally, Venus gets infused with those qualities. Venus in Sagittarius is potentially the most optimistic Venus sign. And you will notice it. You will notice it by transit. It will come out of Venus in Scorpio, Venus in her detriment. very deep, very passionate, but too intense most of the times. And you will notice a sense of hope returning, light returning, right? Things are just not as serious when Venus is in Sagittarius. Yes, you still might be craving love, but you will be craving love that is fun, that is playful, that is adventurous. You may notice that you're going for people who are foreign, or you're seeking to travel with your partner, or you're taking foreign language classes, right? You're attracted to philosophical conversations, people who can teach you things, people who are spiritual and wise. That's generally a signature of anyone born with Venus in Sagittarius. They're more drawn to the mind, right? And the person who can speak multiple languages, someone who's well educated, well traveled. So we are definitely, more interested in these kind of fun relationships. However, watch out for choosing people that are just fun and don't necessarily have long-term potential, especially if you're someone who seeks a long-term relationship. If you're just in it to have fun, then it's a really good transit to deal with. Let's see. So foreign languages, adventures, travel, dating foreign people, all of that is mentioned. Jupiter is the ruler of this Venus, and Jupiter is in Cancer. So I think it affects it, especially in a sense that you're not just going for lighthearted relationships, but Jupiter in Cancer really wants to grow and commit to things. So I think a good balance will be required between something long-term and serious, but also joyful, philosophical, and exciting. And in your creative pursuits, you may also notice that you're suddenly starting to talk about religion or philosophy or astrology, or you're starting to desire to study astrology. My predictive course begins in March 2026 if you were so inclined and wanted to take your knowledge of astrology to the next level and commit to learning the sacred language of the planets so that you can look forward and know what's coming up and avoid some of the mistakes that life can force upon you. Some of the important dates to highlight, there's really only 3 that I picked. Of course, there's maybe some other aspects that are worth noting, but I am going to mention these 3 on December 2nd. Venus will sextile Pluto, and this can increase your passion and your charm, and can also help you express your affection with intensity, but it's more fun intensity, not necessarily intimidating or too much. And then we do have a couple of more difficult aspects, because that is generally the signature of December, and that is Venus squaring Saturn on December 21st and then Venus squaring Neptune on December 24th. Venus will have to deal with a principal. She'll be called into the principal's office in December, and not just Venus, but Mars and the Sun and Mercury and the Moon during the new moon. So we have a lot of tests in December, and so when Venus squares Saturn, Saturn is going to force some type of serious decisions upon you, and this can show up as a lot of times Saturn will say no. And this rejection may feel difficult if you thought you started a relationship that had potential. Venus squares Saturn and you realize that, oh, this person actually was lying to me, or this person is not as committed as I thought they were, or they disappear, right? You feel like you can't communicate with them. Or the no can also suggest that you have to make a serious decision. Maybe you had a really lovely apartment that was all your own, and now you're moving in with your significant other, and you have to say no to that apartment. So maybe it's a way to move forward, but you have to leave something behind. Compromises will need to be made. And similarly, when Venus squares Neptune, there may be a sense of insecurity as a fallout from that challenging energy. And I would urge you that you lean into self-care, that you take things slow, that you do not rush to press eject button and kick yourself out of a relationship. Instead, try to breathe and move slowly and steadily. And once more, highly recommend either Venus in Libra or Venus in Taurus candles. I'm out of exalted Venus, which is Venus in Pisces, but I still have some of the oils, I believe. So check out my website for support and book a reading, join my course, support me by leaving a like or subscribing. Anything you do is really lovely. So we're going to take a look at the 12 rising signs, starting with Aries rising. If you are an Aries rising, Venus is entering your 9th house. Very literal Sagittarian energy, right? You're excited, you feel like growing, you feel like traveling, you're maybe starting to learn a foreign language, or you're starting to learn about love. This could be you deciding to sign up for a course on like psychology of love and relationships, or you're going on a date that you and your partner maybe are learning something together, right? So dating foreigners or traveling with your significant other is highly likely. Learning, all of those things that I have mentioned are very much highlighted here. Venus, Venus wants to have fun, and in the 9th house, she finds classes to take and foreign people and maybe meetups and groups that you can join that you feel connected with. The ruler of Venus is Jupiter in your 4th house. So there might also be some kind of sense that you're like learning something that has deep connection within you, learning the language of your maybe grandfather. Like, let's say your grandfather was Irish and he spoke Irish, and you decide that you also want to learn it, and you want to kind of connect with your roots on that level. And so yeah, discovering interests that are maybe close to home, maybe traveling with family or traveling to see family. The squares to Saturn and Neptune on the 21st and the 24th of December, so kind of mid-December, will bring some obstacles. Perhaps your desire for growth, desire to learn will have to deal with things outside of your control, and some delays will need to be addressed. If you're seeking more, book a reading on my website. Take advantage of the year ahead special. Information is in the description. And join my predictive astrology course. It begins in March 2026. If you are a Taurus rising, Venus is entering your 8th house, blessing all things partnerships. Venus in the 8th is great for working in tandem with someone on a creative project or on a writing project. Venus can help you find beauty in a way that you wouldn't have been able to find on your own. Venus here can inspire you to undertake new projects that involve philosophical, spiritual, linguistical element to them. It can benefit your partner's finances. It can also suggest that other people are more generous with you presently and are more willing to give you the resources. If it is your partner who gets a pay raise, for example, there is a suggestion that they might be buying you presents and you benefit in the process. The ruler of this Venus is Jupiter in your 3rd house. So again, some kind of energy of partnerships. Maybe getting a loan or a mortgage with your sibling, maybe starting a podcast with your neighbor, maybe investing in some kind of like improvement of your skills course. Because Venus in the 8th can also suggest that you're not just benefiting from the resources of other people, but you're also thinking of maximizing and growing your resources. The ruler of this, I mentioned that. And then there's also a square to Saturn and Neptune in the 11th around the 21st and 24th of the month. And this could be more difficult. This can suggest that you'll have to deal with difficult authority figures with maybe some tension in your friendship circle. And maybe we'll have to be very careful in terms of who you're bringing on board or how you're launching your project, because there may be a little bit of like obstacles, delays that involve friendships, networks, social media. For more, visit my website. Take advantage of the year ahead special. I'm doing a sale on it. Info in the description. And join my predictive astrology course. It begins in March 2026. If you are a Gemini rising, Venus is entering your 7th house, the domain of relationships. So this is good for partnerships of all kinds. If you are in business, right, Venus enters your 7th and she sends you a new client, a new partnership. Maybe you can renegotiate a contract on some supplies that you generally receive, and things seem to go your way. If you are single and you're planning to date, Venus can send someone really charming and playful and philosophical and maybe foreign your way. If you are already in a relationship, it is easier to communicate and get along and understand one another, which is also why your partnerships, your negotiations, your contract signings all tend to benefit during this time. The ruler of this Venus is Jupiter in the 2nd, so you're quite focused on building wealth presently. So maybe you're getting in bed with a new financial advisor. Maybe you're talking to, maybe you're figuring out some kind of new plan for your business that can help grow your resources, or you're investing in your business and in your relationships somehow. Around December 21st, 24th, we have difficult aspects, as in a square to Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house. And somehow your job or people in power at your present job, or overall sort of life drudgery, may feel really heavy, and there may be some pushback and some slowdowns and delays. So be ready to slow down, take deep breaths, and trust that the answers will come when the timing is right. For more, visit my website to book a reading. Take advantage of the year ahead sale. You can save $20 on the in-person one with the coupon code 2026, or save $40 by getting a recorded year ahead reading in the shop section of my website. Additionally, in the courses tab, you can sign up for my upcoming predictive course, March 2026. Set yourself up for success. If you are a Cancer rising, Venus is entering your 6th house, the house of work, health, and service, as well as pets. And she blesses this sector. She soothes the tenderness that maybe Mercury and Mars left there. Of course, Mars is still in your 6th house until December 15th. But Venus here can help improve your well-being if you've been dealing with some kind of like health crisis or confusion around health. Venus can bring either a clear path forward, a protocol in terms of how to take care of your health and have fun in the process potentially, or she can just generally alleviate the stress and the tenderness you've been feeling. Professionally, Venus in the 6th can bring exciting projects, more hangouts with your colleagues, even potentially a fling with a colleague, somebody you work with maybe suddenly becomes attractive and you decide to give them a shot. I like this for figuring out your passions and committing to things that are exciting to you and maybe require a lot of work. The ruler of this Venus is Jupiter in your 1st house, so it's very personal. Definitely strong vibes of health and improving your routines and falling in love with a labor of your heart, falling in love with the labor of love, something like that. Beware though that December 21st, 24th, Venus will square Saturn and Neptune in your 9th house. And there may be some obstacles around ideological disagreements. Let's say if you are dating your colleague, or tensions involving legal matters, maybe some kind of negotiations with foreign work partners, obstacles involving visas, travel, writing, publishing, teachers. So just move slowly around that time. December generally has a decent amount of squares, so it may feel slow. It may feel like not the time to act yet, right? It's the end of the year. Focus on protecting and analyzing and processing. And for more, visit my website. I am doing a sale on the year ahead reading. Information is in the description. You can also book a natal chart, relationship, other kinds of consultations on there. pick up my lovely Venus in Libra candle and join my predictive astrology course. It begins in March 2026. If you are a Leo rising, Venus is entering your 5th house. This is fun. This is Venus traditionally in her house joy, inspiring you to date. Suddenly your love life activates. People start coming and being like, hello, hello, let me take you out. If you're in a relationship, maybe you're going on more dates and things are feeling a little bit more exciting, more fun, more spicy. It's 5th house is connected to sex as well. So Venus can awaken your sexuality, right? And encourage you to have more fun. Creatively, this could be really inspired. You're taking on projects, you're picking up a paintbrush, taking yourself on fun dates. You don't need someone else to do it. Starting to write, starting to dance. A lot of creative self-expression can happen here. And finally, 5th house is also connected to children. So spending more time with children, feeling childlike is a potential here too. The ruler is Jupiter in the 12th, so I think some of your interests will be connected to travel, to spirituality, astrology. If you are interested in astrology, join my predictive course and learn how to harness your future, set yourself up for success. It begins in March and you can register on my website. So somehow you're seeking more, and there is a difficult square to Saturn and Neptune around December 21st and then 24th in your 8th house, which might suggest that certain debts, like karmic obligations, and maybe questions from the past are holding you back. And so you'll need to navigate some of your entanglements, literal financial entanglements or other, and maybe cut off some people or some situations. For more, visit my website to join my course, to book a reading. I am doing a special on the year ahead. And pick up a planner. It's time. The year is almost here. 2026 is right around the corner. If you are a Virgo rising, Venus in the 4th house is great for home improvement. You are beautifying, right? You're looking up things on Pinterest and you're getting new cushions and painting walls, fun colors. You're spending more time with family. There's more ease. There's more joy. It can also encourage you to date people from your hometown or people who have a similar upbringing, and can be quite beneficial for feeling inspired and creative at home. You're also more likely to have dates indoors in the privacy of your home. The ruler of this Venus is Jupiter in the 11th house. So you're maybe insular and private, but with Jupiter in the 11th, the focus is still on reaching your dreams and maybe finding recognition. So perhaps you're working on your dream home, or you're working from home and you're spending a lot of time indoors, but you're working towards reaching your dreams, right? So the focus is still outward. Jupiter is retrograde, so it's kind of slow and quiet, but Jupiter in the 11th still wants you to be the best version of yourself. And I think the suggestion is that it starts at your roots. It starts within. Conflicts with partners, business challenges, obstacles involving relationships are possible around December 21st, 24th, as Venus squares Saturn and Neptune in your 7th house. So do be warned. Move slowly. Watch out for disagreements and tensions. Maybe, again, you're like working on home improvement, but your partner throws out they see this chest that you bought on sale and it's like old and special, but they see it as junk and they throw it out and you get in a fight. Or your contractor doesn't come through and there's some kind of challenge there. Take it easy and move slow in December. For more, visit my website to book a reading. Join my predictive astrology course. It begins in March 2026, or save on the year ahead reading info in the description. My lovely Libra rising, Venus is entering your third house and she blesses your social relationships. Venus in the third can suggest that you're going out more, you're exploring your neighborhood, or you're connecting with neighbors, exploring local coffee shops and making friends, right? And just sort of enjoying being out and about. There might also be more creative ideas, more opportunities to write, to speak, to share your wisdom, maybe more partnerships, perhaps. Dating neighbors as well. For those of you who are single, maybe going, meeting someone in the neighborhood, or dating someone in your building, or dating someone your sibling knows. Maybe your brother or your sister introduces you to someone. Generally, a quite like fun, friendly transit. The ruler is Jupiter in the 10th. So even though it's fun and friendly, your focus might still be on your career. So maybe you're networking or partnering up, but the goal is to grow your professional influence and show up in the world as a creator, as a business owner, as a successful set designer, whatever it is that's on your mind. Watch out around December 21st, 24th, as Venus squares Saturn and Neptune in the 6th. Your health there might be something where you're feeling tired, you're feeling overwhelmed, burdened, exhausted. So maybe keep yourself steady and don't overcommit. And this actually applies to the entire month of December, because Venus is not the only one that squares Saturn and Neptune. Mars, the Sun, Mercury, and the Moon all do. So take it easy, move slowly, don't overexert, don't push yourself too hard. For more, visit my website to join my predictive astrology course. It begins in March 2026, or to get your year ahead reading. I am currently running a sale on it, so check it out and take advantage. And Venus in Libra 2, 3, or 4 are all really, really great options, candle options for you. For Scorpio risings, Venus is entering your second house, the house of money and values. And this is positive for finding new money-making opportunities, making investments, spending on art and beauty. There is even a suggestion that whatever you invest into might grow and prosper and bring you more money in the future. You are also prioritizing relationships with Venus in the second house, and it could be a great time to discuss financial matters at your job or with your significant other. So it could be both about like spending and making, feeling more inspired about making money and feeling maybe more driven to spend on art and beauty and relationships. The ruler is Jupiter in the 9th, so maybe you're spending on travel, or you're spending on philosophical interests, or on astrology. My predictive astrology course begins in March 2026. Speaking of astrology, set yourself up for success by learning how to forecast your future. On December 21st, 24th, we have a square to Saturn and Neptune in the 5th. And so there might be some obstacles, maybe unexpected spendings, and tensions involving children, romance, so your significant other, pleasure, maybe some type of spending, like I said, that comes out of the left field and you're not quite ready for it. Maybe some disagreement about what to spend on, maybe even some kind of, habit where you're spending too much on clothes or fancy bags or something. There may be some kind of like wake-up calls around there. So breathe deeply and move slowly and enjoy this transit. And for more, visit my website to book a reading, join my course, and pick up my 2026 planner. If you are a Sagittarius rising, Venus is entering your first house, domain of self, your body, your vitality, your style and image. Perfect time to make that appointment, color your hair, get a haircut, go shopping, pick up some new beautiful clothes. You are more charming. People are drawn to you. Expect more compliments. Expect to feel on top of the world on many levels. Maybe not on December 21st, 24th, as Venus squares Saturn and Neptune in your fourth house. That could actually be a bit of a difficult time as you're facing some challenges, dealing with obstacles and frustrations involving home, family, and living situation, maybe some delays, maybe family putting extra pressure on you. But other than that, it could be a really great transit to take care of yourself, to invest in your appearance, especially after we've had the retrograde and Mars-Mercury conjunction, maybe irritating, inflaming you. The ruler is Jupiter in the 8th, so the focus could be on starting partnerships with others. So maybe your charm is used for forwarding relationships and moving forward in your romantic, professional, creative associations. For more, visit my website to book a personal reading. Take advantage of the year ahead sale. You can save $20 on the in-person consultation with the coupon code 2026, or save $40 on the recorded reading in the shop section of my website. So check it out. Join my course. Begins in March. I'm gonna sing la 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 and pick up my 2026 planner as well. If you are a Capricorn rising, Venus is entering your private sector. She's going into hibernation, and you may feel like retreating. You may feel like taking a step back and spending more time in solitude. There may be some healing involved, right? Healing of relationships. The ruler of this Venus is Jupiter in your 7th house. Jupiter wants you to be happy in relationships. Jupiter wants you to grow spiritually, financially, soulfully. And so Venus in the 12th can be a very private time. Venus in the 12th can reveal to you where you are shooting yourself in the foot. I feel like 12th house transits can be so illuminating. Like a thought comes into your mind and you're like, oh, this is why I am struggling in blah, 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 right? I mean, relationships is especially important sector here. A danger of Venus in the 12th lies, the danger of Venus in the 12th lies in attracting and going for unstable people, toxic people, people who are not committed, like especially if you're, if you're driven by the Sagittarian desire to have fun. Watch out that you're not choosing people who are not good for you. So don't give your ex you've given 3 chances already another chance, right? Maybe not. Don't do it. And watch out around December 21st, 24th. There will be a square to Saturn and Neptune in your 3rd house. So there may be some dark thoughts, some difficult conversations, tension around siblings, involving neighbors, involving writing. Things will get better, but it does feel December generally has a pretty kind of like slow, a lot of red lights type of energy. It's like driving and just constantly running into a red light, as we get 4 planets, and then if you add the moon, 5 planets squaring Saturn and Neptune. So breathe, move slowly, make good choices for yourself. And speaking of good choices, book a year ahead reading. It is currently discounted, information in the description, or join my predictive astrology course. It begins in March and it will set you up for success, helping you learn how to forecast the future. For Aquarius risings, Venus is entering your 11th house. This is a really bright and fun social Venus. You're going out, there's more parties, your friends are inviting you. There's more weddings or holiday events. You're maybe even meeting someone there that you find attractive. Or if you're in a relationship, you may be negotiating new projects with your friends and thinking about new beginnings. Going to more conferences, right? Going to more parties, as I mentioned already, your charm really shines in public context. And with Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, currently in Cancer, your 6th house, it feels like you're professionally minded, potentially. Either professionally minded or you're driven to make the world a better place with Jupiter in the 6th. You're driven to help and heal and guide and empower other people. So opportunities that involve that may be prominent presently as well. Around December 21st, 24th, watch out your spendings. Try maybe generally be careful with spending too much this month because Venus and other planets will all square Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd house. There may also be some type of compromises that you have to make in terms of priorities and values. Let's say you get an exciting job opportunity or an opportunity, but you have to maybe compromise on your earnings for the sake of the future and say yes to a lower paid job. Or maybe you're dealing with planning a getaway for friends and you're having to decide whether to invite a friend that still hasn't paid you for the previous trip and it's been a year. So be ready for some kind of tough conversations, decisions, maybe friction with friends around December 21st, 24th. It's kind of hard to say just those 2 dates because it's basically lasting all month with other planets in the mix, but I'll highlight those 2 specifically for Venus. And if you're seeking more, join my predictive astrology course to learn to forecast your future. It begins in March and it will set you up for success by teaching you the tools you need to be astrologically aware and able to speak the language of the planets. And you can also take advantage of my special price of the year ahead reading to find out what 2026 has in store for you. And everything else, planets, candles, all of that is on my website. For my beautiful Pisces risings, Venus is entering your 10th house of career. This is good for anyone looking for work because Venus in the 10th can help you connect with the right people, make the right choices professionally. If you're already happy with your job, there may be more projects that are enjoyable and interesting and fun. Better relationships with people in power are likely. I think it's interesting here because the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter currently in your 5th house, and Jupiter is opening you up to new ideas, new passions, even new romantic relationships. And then Venus is in the 10th being like, well, how can I translate that into my career? Maybe you have a job that is quite static and predictable every day. Can you add some flowers? Can you add some creativity? Can you ask your boss for a way to do things differently, right? Like what can be done? It can also be about discovering a new passion and maybe bringing writing, astrology, travel into your career. If you're ready to bring astrology into your career, I am teaching a course in March. As you know, I've been promoting it. So you can sign up and learn all about predictive astrology to learn how to forecast your future and set yourself up for success. Finally, December 21st, 24th, Venus will square Saturn and Neptune in your 1st house. So there may be some obstacles, some challenges, some tensions that involve your health, your well-being, even your inner monologue. Just watch out that you're not being too hard on yourself, and maybe also on the other end of the spectrum, make sure that you're not pushing yourself too hard because then you may end up feeling burnt out. Visit my website, book a year ahead reading. It is currently discounted. You can save $20 on the in-person reading with the coupon code 2026 or $40 on the recorded one if you pick it up in the shop section of my website. Get your 2026 planner. What are you waiting for? The year is almost over. And thank you so much for watching and for listening. Please press that like button, press the subscribe button, share if you have any video ideas, anything that is more general or predictive. I am planning to post a lot of 2026 content, so it's always helpful to hear what you guys think. And I'll see you soon. Bye.